Oh, no, I've never done this one. So, what did I do then? The excavator thing? Alright, well, this is all new stuff looking like to me. So we have some sort of grinder machine, which this one makes it flat. And that's the only grinder machine. Alright, that's good to know. What's this guy gonna say? Probably like, oh, I died and I sucked at building shit.
I'm getting too old for this now. But I don't regret it. What was there for me in Greenville, huh? A farm? Maybe. 40 years on the back of a tractor? That wasn't the kind of life I wanted anyway. I've seen the stars. Been to hundreds of different planets. I've lived with aliens. But no one knows. Not even my parents. Hell, my parents are probably dead now. It's strange, I've never really missed human contact. I was always a bit of a loner anyway. But I'd like someone to talk to now. The overlords gave me books and records, you know. Forgot the record player, but that's okay. I made my own. They kept me comfortable. I finished up a while ago, but I can't get back to the ship. I'm tired. So tired. Maybe I'll just sit down here and wait for them to pick me up. The sky's clear now. The stars are all different from Earth, but they still shine. Lovely. I'll just close my eyes for a bit. Yeah. Just for a moment.
How many times has this guy died? His corpse has appeared in like 4 different levels with shit to tell me about, like, oh, this is how I felt about X, and this is how I felt about Y. That being said, that was a nice little send-off for that character. Definitely enjoyed it. Okay, so I need to weld these two together, then weld, I guess, 4 doodly-doos together, and then stick some broheims on the back of it, and this will all work out, right? Okay, so I want to... This will grind up some of them. Let's come over here and put down a platform and a conveyor. And then we'll need a welder over both of them. So, like so. Whoops, I didn't mean to get rid of the conveyor. And it looks like the overhead welders might not be the most efficient design now that I think about it. So we'll switch over to this welder type and put it there. Because the overhead welders will require 2 blocks to hold up, and if I just do 1 block, then that should be more efficient. So we'll weld these 2 pieces together, and then we need to start welding these pieces over here together. So that's pretty straightforward. We can just put a platform there, and weld... I have an idea that should work to make this pretty straightforward, but for now, we need to put welders... I can use this box to make this really efficient, and I don't need to stand it up on anything. So put a welder there. Okay, those 2 pieces are welded together. Those 2 pieces are welded together. Alright. So, what should I do? When something lands... So these are coming out pieces, like, 2 by 2. So what I can do is... Well, let's just convey it off to the side for right now. So we need to weld them into a 4 by 4 segment. So this will fall down. We can convey it off to, like, the side right there. I can actually make this even more straightforward by just... What should I do? If I drop them onto each other, that's a requirement, because I need to stack them somehow. So I can put a platform, like, there. And then... When something gets to... here. So this is 1 height, 2 height. When something gets to 3 height, when we get 3 of these things, we'll push them out. And I don't think that's going to work super well, but it might work well enough. I don't know. Yeah, that's not going to work at all in the long run. Because this is going to get stacked up faster than it's going to push them out. So that won't be a particularly smart idea. But I could push them out in... What if I pushed out from the bottom like that and put the conduit there? That might work. Let's do this. That falls down. And unfortunately, that pushed out the bottom one before we could land on top of it. Which makes sense that it would do that. So this is not a particularly bright idea. I know what I can do. Something much more straightforward. So instead of having the sensor be there, we'll have the sensor come from another block. Probably this one. And when it's time to weld them together, it'll send out a pusher signal, like right there. Otherwise, we'll just start welding these things together. So we have platforms like that. We'll just push down, or we'll put down welders like that. Okay, let's see what happens. So those two get welded. Okay, and then when necessary, we'll come here with this conveyor belt. Send this off over here. Just going to try and get these two segments put together. So this 4 block and this 2 block. If we put those together, then this will be a lot easier to build overall. So come over here with this conveyor belt. And I'll figure out... I have this big drop-off, so that'll make it pretty easy to figure out what needs to get laid where. Okay, so we can drop this over there. Put down platforms there. And then we'll have this 4-piece right there. Okay. So we want to get rid of this conveyor belt. And then we just need to figure out when exactly I need to put a block under here. Like that. Okay. So we got to figure out when exactly to send off the signal to have this 4 block pushed out of the way. So that gets put into place there. And these need to be welded together in like a little 2 block pattern, so I can just do that right out the gate, so it's like super duper straightforward. Like that. And we'll get the welder set up. Put a platform under it so it doesn't fall. You can stick it off the wall like that so it looks super duper cool. Alright, fast forward. That piece came into play. Pretty much all the pieces actually arrived at about the same time. So that's pretty cool. That makes the timing pretty straightforward. Let's delete those conveyor belts. And we'll make the conveyor belts up a little bit higher in the air. Like so. I messed up. I need to put this over 1 more. Okay. And we just need to put platforms like that. And then we need to figure out a way to weld it all together. Once that's done, this will be straightforward and easy mode. So... Oh. This won't be so straightforward and easy mode. I need to drop the... Oh. Wait, that'll work out. Okay, that'll work out. I'll put all the blocks in exactly as it needs to. Ah. So we need to move the conveyor belt. Okay, so these still... So this sensor that I currently have, which needs to be wired slightly differently. So when this 2 block comes into place right here, that's when I send off the other 2 types of blocks. So let's destroy all the wiring for right now and rebuild it. So we need to get rid of that. That was a push block, so we need that after all. Okay, so we need this conduit to go up, and it's gonna push... It's gonna signal to this pusher. It can signal it from below, yes? Okay, it is. Let's go to the wiring on top, as that's not necessary. So now when the 2 block comes down here... Oh, you were making fun of me. Got it, yeah. I've made one. You know, my factory isn't the greatest, but it's something. Yeah, that's gotta be worth something to somebody, right? So this sensor doesn't appear to work because it's rotated the wrong way. Because it's the wrong type of sensor. So I'll put the sensor, or the correct type, rotate it into place. There, this pusher fell down. So that can be fixed by just using the conduit sufficiently. Uh-oh, no, it should not be fixed by using the conduit sufficiently. We can put a platform on top of the conduits, which will look really cool. Let's try this now. Comes through there. That block falls into place. And then the idea will be to just push off from another stockpile of this block over here. So we need to make the stockpile. Come over here. This is about the height of the stockpile. I can increase the height of the stockpile if I need to. But we just need to put a platform right there, I believe. No, that won't work. We need to put a platform right there. And then we'll need to put a pusher, similar to that one over here. So the pusher can just go like that. Put a platform underneath it to connect it all. Actually, I can just use a conduit for it. Interesting thing you did before this level. If you weld your blocks together before they get to the shaper thing, they'll stay welded when they come out. Oh, that's interesting. That could save a little bit of efficiency, huh? That's worth keeping in mind. That's actually really good to know. Thank you. And it's totally obvious, and I'm not sure why I didn't think of that. But that's okay. So we'll take the conduit from this thing, put it over to that pusher, and these blocks are currently not the right distance from each other for this idea to work. Never mind, they landed perfectly, correctly. So then the idea will be, once this block lands right there, we need to trigger this pusher. So how is that going to be done? With conduits and carefulness. Like that. We need to make sure the wiring doesn't cross. So the block lands like so. We can put the thing right there and eliminate a little bit of conduit path. This should work. This should solve it. It's not a good solution, but it's one which works. And actually, I don't need to, because they both arrive at the same time, I don't need to have the conduits from that one, which means I'm going to put the welders back together and then this will all work perfectly. That was the last step. So I have this pusher right here, totally unnecessary. I just put the sensor right next to it, and this will work. Go for it. That comes down there. And there's the solution. Perfect. As far as I know, this has no flaws. It might be wasteful of resources, but it should work just fine. Yeah, because I'm definitely wasting a lot of blocks. My factory produces a lot of garbage. But, that's for somebody else to deal with. It's not an Infinifactory. This is definitely a factory. So, I did terrible on cycles. I did actually surprisingly okay on footprint and block. Whatever.